Welcome to our channel. Russia's invasion of Ukraine had shaken the global geopolitical balance, and the protracted and unpredictable nature of the war is forcing a reassessment of modern conflict theories. Recent developments in the war show that the Russian military is facing serious strategic and operational challenges. In particular, the recent offensives in Crimea and Novomyva have revealed that Russian forces have suffered significant losses and failed to achieve their strategic objectives. The deeper causes and consequences of the collapse of the Russian military are important. It undermines Russia's image as a regional and global power, while internationally reinforcing Ukraine's resilience. Moreover, the increasing surrender and desertion of Russian soldiers are signs of the disintegration of the internal structure of the Russian military and the questioning of the Putin administration's military and political strategies. The success of Ukraine's I Want to Live surrender program highlights the importance of psychological warfare and information operations in modern wars. By persuading Russian troops to surrender to Ukraine, the program weakens Russian forces and increases international support by taking a humanitarian approach. Although the Kremlin is trying to hide its losses, the situation has become so obvious that every soldier in the Russian army is now aware that Moscow is leading them into an abyss. Today, a significant development unfolded in the surrender issue as a Russian commander made the decision to surrender alongside his entire team to Ukrainian forces. The video of the Russian commander's explanation for surrender quickly gained traction on the social media platform X. The surrendered Russian commander is Robert Dmitry Viktorovich, born on August 13, 1970. Tonight, Viktorovich, the commander of the evacuation department and a senior sergeant, made the decision to bring an end to the war alongside his soldiers. For them, the war had no significance. The Russian command stated that this war was of no concern to them. Viktorovich expressed his opinion, suggesting that it would be best for Putin to handle his own affairs without involving others. He stated that he and the soldiers made the decision to navigate their way out and ultimately surrendered to Ukraine. One notable aspect of the commander's statement is the shift in focus away from Russian soldiers and Putin's insistence, indicating a change in perspective on the war. There was a highly critical study conducted by the United States regarding a significant crisis within the Russian army. This study provides a comprehensive analysis of the current state of the Russian army, highlighting the recent trends in surrender cases and desertions within the military. Thanks to recent publications and assessments from U.S. sources, previously undisclosed facts have come to light, revealing information that had been suppressed due to the Kremlin's restrictions on Russian media. The published figures provide a clear glimpse into Russia's involvement in the Ukraine war. It's truly astonishing how the Russian army has transformed into what it is today. Exploring the strategic opportunities within the Russian leader Vladimir Putin's army and capitalizing on them has set a remarkable precedent in the annals of global conflicts. In this process, Kyiv, similar to Moscow, did not directly prioritize media resources. Over time, this resulted in significant disintegration within the Russian army, presenting the unseen side of the war. One of the biggest challenges facing the Russian military is the effectiveness of Ukraine's defensive strategies and a lack of morale and motivation of Russian forces. Ukraine's minefields and resilient defense lines severely limited the Russian advance, while Ukrainian forces' counterattacks forced the Russian front line to retreat. This highlights the inadequacy of the Russian military's tactical and strategic maneuvering on the battlefield and Ukraine's resilience. The recent incidents within the Russian military have been confirmed by a significant and formal update issued by the United States. According to Lieutenant General Jonathan Braga, the head of the U.S. Army Special Operations Command, Ukraine has successfully neutralized 177,000 Russian forces without resorting to any direct combat. The key factor behind Ukraine's success in facilitating the desertion of numerous Russian soldiers without any use of force was attributed to a highly effective information operation. Lieutenant General Jonathan Braga emphasized Ukraine's capability to capitalize on the Russian army's low morale through effective media campaigns. Ukraine's messaging efforts have thus emerged as a crucial tool in convincing numerous Russian soldiers to vacate their positions. Braga observed that by utilizing social media extensively, The Ukrainian military and intelligence services acquired comprehensive intelligence on Russian forces, equipment, and personnel. This valuable information served as a foundation for successful targeted strikes on individual soldiers, ultimately undermining their morale at the tactical level. Eroding this will and morale of individual soldiers is a fundamental military activity. This helps to weaken the overall capacity of the unit and instill doubt in the minds of the enemy. There are numerous instances of demoralization within the Russian army that could be utilized by Ukrainian operations, and the Kremlin is actively working to eliminate this issue. These include the strict measures taken by Russia, such as the Soviet practice during World War II of executing soldiers who refused to obey orders or retreated, among others. Ukraine is fully cognizant of this vulnerable aspect of Russia. There are already numerous soldiers in the Russian army who have grown disenchanted with war and express opposition towards Moscow. The harsh sanctions imposed on these Russian soldiers have only worked Ukraine's efforts in this regard. Reluctant to perish without purpose, Russian soldiers either opted to surrender to the Ukrainian army or abandon the battlefield. It is unfortunate for Moscow that the number of surrenders or desertions within the Russian army has reached 17,000. So even though achieving victory appears unlikely, a growing number of Russian soldiers are actively searching for ways to escape. The surrender program run by the Ukrainian armed forces is gaining recognition as a source of hope for these soldiers in need. Over 22,000 Russian soldiers have surrendered seeking an escape route. Approximately 20,000 Russian soldiers declined to join the Russian army or deserted without enlisting, all due to the digital initiatives of the Ukrainian forces. Based on all the available data, it appears that approximately 35,000 Russian soldiers were neutralized without any combat engagement. However, it is worth noting that individuals who willingly surrendered using the I Want to Live app were documented alongside other prisoners of war as those captured during the operation, ensuring their safety from potential retaliation by Moscow. Andriy Yusov, the spokesman for the Ukrainian Military Intelligence Directorate, informed the Ukrainian news agency that a significant portion of the prisoners of war captured by Kyiv chose to surrender willingly. According to Andriy Yusov, there is a consistent number of Russian soldiers who surrender daily as part of the I Want to Live program. Yusov also highlighted the significant rise in the number of Russian soldiers deserting following the departure of Russian pilot Maxim Kusov. Kusov had flown an Mi-8 armored combat helicopter into Ukrainian airspace on October 23rd. Due to this reason, the I Want to Live surrender program has been gaining significant traction lately in assisting Russian soldiers. Lawyers and volunteers of the surrender program have provided counseling to over 1,000 soldiers who attempted to desert. These latest figures demonstrate a significant increase in the surrender rate of Russian soldiers, indicating notable improvements in the structure of the I Want to Live surrender program. The impact of Ukraine's strategic and psychological warfare is profoundly unsettling the Russian occupation forces. The recent surrender of a Russian commander and unit highlights a significant breakdown within the ranks of the Moscow army. This is a clear outcome of Ukraine's ongoing offensive and the compelling influence of the I Want to Live surrender campaign. This initiative provides a valuable opportunity for Russian soldiers who are feeling frustrated while also effectively weakening enemy forces without the need for any combat.